Hello, Grand Risings to you. I'm your host, Back to the Basics. This is season 2, episode 25. This one is titled, Let's Get Our Mind Right. I just love that. Keep calm and get your mind right. This is a pre-record. I am currently under a shadow ban. For those who were in the chat yesterday when I did build a brand on a budget, well, I just looked up went through my YouTube studio, and YouTube says that there pretty much is no impressions or views. So I am currently shadow banned. I am not surprised, but it is what it is. Here's one of the pictures that I found. Keep calm and get your mind right. There's a lot going on around here, particularly what's happening in our society today. Let me drop that banner, and I'm going to drop this picture as well so we can get to the article. So the link to this article will be in the description box. I will probably also pin it to the comments section. I'm going to move myself out of the way. We're going to talk about negative thinking, some cognitive behavior therapy tools. I will say this from the jump street. I am not a licensed mental health professional. I am speaking to you from personal experience. I am recovering from anxiety and depression. I was a patient at Rock Springs Behavioral Health Hospital. I was a patient there over a year ago. My 1-year anniversary just surpassed on July 11th. I'm not ashamed to tell you about it. Because you see, I'm not a victim. I am a survivor of anxiety and depression and suicidal ideations, and I am in the recovery phase. So I'm coming to you with a patient's perspective. What I will say is, if anyone out there is suffering from, or battling, should I say, because it's a battle, battling anxiety and depression or suicidal thoughts, seek help. Mental health matters. Go seek help from a trusted mental health professional. There's the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, 1-800-273-8255, 1-800-273-8255. I'm not a licensed mental health professional, but seek one out, one that you trust. Once again, the National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. Let me go back over to the article. Okay. Again, link will be in the description and the comment section. CBT, negative thinking. We got to stop that. We're going to talk about negative thinking, talk about some common thought thinking traps, and then we're going to challenge those thoughts. And then we are going to end with positive affirmations. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. It's going down today. Help yourself at moodcafe.co.uk. Negative thinking. I'm not going to read every word. Time is precious. We know that negative thoughts are associated with negative feelings or emotions. The worse we feel, the more likely we are to think negatively and believe these thoughts to be true, even though they are unrealistic and unreasonable. We're going to get into these thinking traps or thought traps. First of all, we had to identify the thought traps. We got to identify the thought traps before we can challenge them. Check out mind reading. This is when we believe that, you know what another is thinking. So sometimes this does occur with first impressions or whatever have you. Labeling. Ladies, gentlemen, we should not be calling ourselves names, particularly in the Black community. Fortune telling, making negative predictions. When we can't even see 10 seconds into the future. Unless and if the Most High permits us to see it, but not on our own. Catastrophizing. This is a big one. Automatically going to the worst case scenario, particularly if anyone is battling anxiety. This is something that occurs a lot. Let me keep going. Overgeneralizing. If something didn't work out once, assuming it never will. Here's another big one. All or nothing thinking. Not thinking in shades of gray. Either or. This or that. Another thing. Ignoring the positives. Only focusing on the negative. I did put a little note here. Just want to read what I said. Here we go. This is what I thought of when I thought of ignoring the positives. I would say that with this thinking trap, this is where, and I am speaking for myself, this is where some people can, or should I say may or can, minimize their own success. And not only that, they may also have tunnel vision. They're not looking, again, they're not looking at the whole picture. Tunnel vision. Again, like we see with the example, some people keep focusing on just the mistakes. Well, if an individual gives you constructive criticism is not just negative, it's negative and positive. See, that's the difference between criticism versus constructive criticism. If an individual is just going to criticize, okay, I hear you, but what did I do that was right? I mean, I couldn't have been complete trash. You know what I'm saying? Emotional reasoning, going by ladies, gentlemen, feelings, emotions. This is where a lot of miscommunication can or may occur due to some of us being in our feelings and not examining the facts. We really need, some of us now, some of us need to get away from, well, I feel that, okay, but what is actually happening though? This is another big one. Personalizing, taking things personal, assuming responsibility. This is a big one across the board. I am guilty. I'm speaking for myself. This can cause issues in a person's personal life and professional life. It's okay to just fall back. And on low key, this one right here could also be perceived as covert narcissism. Because again, taking things personal. This one could be seen as a narcissistic characteristic. It's not good to take things personal. And sometimes some people do it without even realizing it. They do it unintentionally until someone holds up that mirror and they see it, and then some, they see it and they continue to do. But that's a whole nother that's a whole nother recording live stream. Let me keep going. Should and must. So the thing about the words should and must, those words are very judgmental words. And it doesn't matter if should and must is being directed at others or towards the individual. Assuming that things have to be a certain way. So check out this example right here. I should always give everything I do 100%. Here we go. So right here, I perceive that this individual is being very hard on their self, very judgmental towards their self. I should always give everything I do 100%. Here we go. I must not fail. Or I must not be rude, so other should not be either. So again, should. A lot of judgment going on. And it also, I perceive that this person may also be a perfectionist because they're talking about doing everything 100%. I can't fail. And then I see I must not fail. So I am perceiving that this person may have a fear of failure. So this is what I put for my note. This individual most likely is a a perfectionist because they are judgmental towards their self. They may also be passive and not assertive. Now, it was that last portion of that sentence, or I must not be rude, so others should not be either. So it looks like this person does not like conflict. And that's okay. But at the same time, it's not good to be passive. I highly discourage being passive. I repeat, do not be anyone's doormat. Listen, I understand there is a hierarchy. I understand that. There is a dominant role, there is a submissive role. At work, you got superiors, there's peers, and then there's subordinates. Yes, I understand what insubordination is. I got it. At the same time, don't be a pushover for anybody. Don't let anyone knock you off your square. And whenever you can, or what should I say, whenever we can, let's practice assertive communication. It's okay to be respectful and firm. It's okay. It's okay to be tactful and respectful. It can be done. That's a whole nother live recording as far as assertive communication. So here we go. Now that we've identified the thinking traps, now we have to challenge them. I like that. We have to apply a more rational, balanced approach to our thinking. And it doesn't matter what scenario it is, whether if it's personal or if it's professional. Searching for evidence that a particular thought trap is true. We had to really, okay, is this thought that I'm thinking, is it true? Why am I even thinking that way? Is it because of something that happened in the past? Is it something that I saw on TV or through social media or whatever have you? So instead of trying to push thoughts out of our mind and not think about them, which really doesn't help, we need to challenge them. Here we go. If I don't get out of here, I'm going to faint. Here's the challenge. What are the chances of me fainting? On the few times when I haven't been able to get out, I have felt very faint, but then the feeling passed and I was okay. So just stay and brave it out. I'll be fine. Oh, I just love this one. This is classic. These are classic symptoms of anxiety, and someone may have caught your eye and heart starts pounding. Palms get sweaty. But this one, This one may be more, now that I'm looking at it, this will be more on the lines of a possible anxiety attack. My heart is pounding and my pulse is racing. My fingers are tingling. I'm going to have a heart attack. Challenge. What are the chances of me having a heart attack? My doctor has told me my heart is in fine shape. Even, okay, I saw all my symptoms in the handout. Even although they can come on when I feel calm, I now know that this is normal in stress. It's okay. Anxiety is it's a normal response to stress. And not all stress is bad stress. Okay, this is the one. What if I start to blush in front of the people at work? I would want to die. Like I said, hey, some of us see something that catches our eye. It looks, you know, that person or thing, well, that person, should I say. Hey, we saw someone that, you know, we believe to be attractive. So, hey, challenge. What is the worst thing that can happen? I've blushed in front of them a few times and I was very self conscious. Nothing else happened. So if it happens again, will it be the end of the world? Will they disown me? No. So at worst, I would be embarrassed. I hate it, but it's not going to kill me. Don't make too much of it. Here's one. Now this one is more, this is also with at the workplace. What if I forget all the prices? I'll come across like an idiot. In quotations mark, we see the word salesman. Challenge. What is the worst thing that can happen? Big deal. I'll look up my price book. I've looked up the book hundreds of times in front of customers in the past. Keep things in proportion. They are all looking at me. They can all see that I can't cope with this. I'm going to say right now, just because an individual may be looking at you does not mean that they are thinking of you in a negative manner. There are various people out there that have different personalities. And some people really like to psychoanalyze and they like to sit back and they like to observe and study. They like to watch. Challenge. Am I right to think that they are all looking at me? They are not bothered about me. I'm being too sensitive. I know I can hide my stress well. I think I look okay. In any case, I might be very tense just now, but I'm still coping. This is a big one that sometimes that we may think to ourselves, I am a failure. Challenge. I try my best, and a lot of the time I can be okay. I'm holding down my job, but I'm still coping. I ask too much of myself. I can't be perfect. I'm far from it, but I'm not the worst by a long shot. First of all, this isn't about being perfect. I still have to fight against the perfectionism that attempts to come up. And I'm just speaking from personal experience. It's more about progression than perfection. At times, you just have to trust the process. My positive affirmation to challenge this particular thought, or should I say sentence, I can't be perfect. I am progressing every day. I am a success. Here we go. Here's another thought. I really messed things up this morning. I made a real fool of myself. I'm not going back. Challenge. How big a deal will this morning be in 5 years' time? Get things in perspective here. I've learned something and it won't happen again. If that is the worst thing to happen to me for the next 5 years, then I will be lucky. Stick in there. Now, it may happen again, but the main thing is I've learned something, particularly when challenging that thought. My life will never change. I will always feel like this. Here we go with the black and white thinking. Challenge. Will I feel the same in 5 years' time? I can't read the future. I have the chance to learn better ways of coping. Life can change. Don't give up. For those who may be battling anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts, are you listening to me? You have the chance to learn better ways of coping. And I'm speaking to you as because I'm in the recovery phase of anxiety and depression. Life can change. Don't give up. Don't give up. I go to bed each night worrying about how I cope today. Did I say something silly to my neighbor? What was I too hard on the kids? I've always feel I have failed and I feel that I am stuck in a very deep rut. Challenge. Is life too short to worry like this? Yes. I should learn to pat myself on the back a bit more. Another word instead of should is I can learn to pat myself on the back a bit more, or I am learning to pat myself on the back a bit more. Again, should is a judgmental word. This individual is really being hard on themselves. I feel envy and hatred towards so many people. I hate myself, but I don't make any moves to change. I am wasting my life. Challenge. Is life too short to think like this? Yes. I've got to confront life. I've got to give it my best shot. A positive affirmation for this particular thought. I love myself. I am a success. I am enough. I am a good person. I am learning and growing each day. I am changing. Here we go, the thought trap challenge. So here is the part where throughout the day a person can write down a negative thought. Again, we got to catch that thought now. We got to identify these thinking traps. And then boom, we'll start utilizing the tools to challenge those thoughts. Here, unhelpful thinking styles. We're going to talk about rumination and perfectionism, which I touched on a little bit earlier. Rumination, dwelling on the past. Perfectionism can lead people to experience low mood, irritability, and anxiety. You know, it's just no bueno, par mal, no me gusta. I don't like it. With rumination, thinking repeatedly about past events, particularly, for example, for some that may be battling anxiety and depression, laying in the bed at night, ruminating. It's the worst. Get up out of bed, get you a pen, notepad, challenge those thoughts. Stand up, look in the mirror, start doing mantras, positive affirmations. And then, of course, people who have been diagnosed with depression do the same, usually. Here we go. Overanalyzing things and dwelling on things is not going to make us feel better or happier. Rather than continually asking why don't I feel any better? It is more helpful for people to ask themselves, what am I going to do to make myself feel better? So with worrying, right? Worrying does not help us to prepare for the future or help us to solve problems. Instead, worrying can make us feel even more anxious about the future and less able to cope if, in fact, the worst did happen. Here's an activity. Again, getting out that pen and paper and start challenging that. Here we go. We're going to talk about perfectionism. We're getting there. So with perfectionists, they have high expectations for their self, and they become very critical of their self. They have high standards for other people, and they can be very critical on others. And then other people have high expectations on them. And this can lead them to feel, or should I, that individual or people, some people, to feel rejected, ashamed, or angry if we think that we have not achieved what is expected of them. Yeah, that right there, perfectionism is really, I hate to have to say this, but I'm going to say it. Perfectionism is like a perfect storm for a lot of things, for anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, ideations, passive communication, uh, trying to be the hero. That this one right here is big. Perfectionism. That right there can lead to a black hole of issues. Again, I am not a mental health professional. I'm just talking about from personal experience. We got to challenge perfectionism. Failure is a part of life. We may be more likely to achieve our goals without damaging our relationships by just accepting, hey, failure is a part of life. We don't have to stay down. We can make the choice and get back up. Look at all of this of the quote unquote successful people. Look how many failures they had to go through. Look how many doors were shut in their face. But yet they're still making six figures and above. Here are some quick questions to challenge unhelpful thinking with the rumination and the perfectionism. Is it helpful to think in this way? If not, why not? 2, what are the consequences of continuing to think in this way? 3, what would you say to a friend who was being so critical of him or herself? Here we go. We're going to get into cross benefit analysis. This is another tool we can use. This is where you make a list of disadvantages and benefits of that particular thought. Now, mind you, that we're challenging negative thinking. Here's a thought: I should always strive to get others' approval. And also, I did not, again, perfectionism can also lead to not only passive communication, but also having a people pleasing mentality. And then this would be a common thought: I should always strive to get others' approval. And again, that person may want to be liked by others. Again, they want to have good rapport with their um, friends, significant other, co-workers, boss, whatever have you. The benefit of the thought, it means I try hard to get people's approval and not let this slip. Another benefit of the thought, if I stop trying, people might not like me as much. Here's the cost of that thought. It's exhausting. It means I'm always striving. Trying hard all the time actually makes me feel worse. And also, you think about it, if you're always striving, you're always, trying hard, that depletes a person's energy, right? It depletes them emotionally, physically, and spiritually, and even socially, because then that person may want to do what? Isolate. Exactly, which is a sign of depression. It puts me off meeting people, lowers my mood. Hence the word I use, the depression makes me feel more anxious around people. So again, just thinking like that, I should always strive to get others' approval. There's more cost to that thought than benefits. This is a good exercise, cost benefit analysis. And you know what that is pretty much the end. I want to thank you for hanging in there with me. We are coming to the golden hour, so I will be getting off of here shortly. I just want to say I am not a licensed mental health professional. If you or someone else is battling anxiety and depression, suicidal ideations with a specific plan, or even if you don't have a plan, please seek help from a trusted licensed mental health professional. The National Suicide Prevention number is scrolling across the screen right now. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 1-800-273-8255, 1-800-273-8255. I'm going to close. I'm going to start concluding with positive affirmations. These are some that I say to myself often. Here we go. I am looking at my notebook that I had at Rock Springs Behavioral Health Hospital, there located in Georgetown, Texas. First of all, I'd like to thank the staff, everybody who interacted, from the doctor to the therapist to everybody, the people who, the staff that led recreational therapy, art therapy, music therapy, everything. Housekeeping staff, kitchen staff, everybody. The minister who came in, thank you. The ones who came in who talked about AA and NA and other things, thank you. Without the Most High sending you to my life, I probably wouldn't even be here today. So now, positive affirmations. Here we go. This was written on June 10th of 2019, a little over a year ago. It's July 26th, 2020. I am thankful. I am grateful. I am bold. I am a success. I am loved. I am enough. I am enough. I am making progress each day. I am friendly. I control my emotions. I control my emotions. I forgive myself and others. I will persevere. I will persevere. I have a support system. I accept people the way they are. I accept people the way they are. I am intelligent and encourage others. I am complete, whole, and well. I am complete, whole, and well. I like myself. I take care of myself. I take care of myself. I trust others. I love myself. I love myself. I allow myself to feel my emotions. I am energetic. I want to live. I want to live. I am a good person. I am beautiful. I am a modest lady. I choose to be happy. I am happy. I can take and learn from constructive criticism. I can take and learn from constructive criticism. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. I want to thank you for listening. This is season 2, episode 25. Let's get our mind right. The Most High be with you to protect you, lead, guide, and direct your footsteps. I love you as a sister. I'm gone.